Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. So we've got a little bit of a follow-up to the news piece from yesterday, which was the big in terms of how widespread the news got, but even though there wasn't actually too much substance to the news, but obviously 3 animated movies in development from Avatar Studios. Lara Montgomery will direct the first one. Eric Coleman is back. That's basically what we learned yesterday. No specifics, just kind of details we already knew, and not actually revealing everything that we actually technically did know. Because I went back through like, okay, what do we actually know? And I found this article, which again, I covered this and I've mentioned it a few times, from September 2021. And effectively what was said here was kind of said already before. They're well underway in development on a series of CG films and a new Avatar series. So this obviously mentions the idea of like CG, which we know about from this, and then the job listings for Avatar Studios, we know a bit about the animation style. But this is the only place where it's really mentioned that like any other project apart from a movie is in development. But it is notable that this technically means there are 3 movies and a series in development. Now maybe they've chosen to focus more on the movies, but at least it was said previously that a series is also in development. Because again, some of the earliest information about Avatar Studios we have was that they were going to do movies, series, one-shots, and short form content. So potentially there's actually 4 projects we actually know about, but they're only focusing on the movie stuff at the moment. But the significance of what was said yesterday was more that, as you can see here, the official Avatar Instagram posted about it. You can see the Nickelodeon official Instagram commented on it. Nick Animation did. And basically across the board, official Avatar presences were mentioning this information. So it really got out there and hit all the main places it needed to, and got, hey, Avatar Studios exists, back into the spotlight, whereas everything sort of had been hidden for the last while. So since then, we've had a few little updates. First one I saw was this. Grace Randolph, who we got sort of insider information before, she I think is where the whole one of the movies is a prequel Avatar movie came from. She's now saying, she does a quote tweet in relation to the Deadline article from yesterday. I hear one of the 3 movies is about Kyoshi. So this is the first time we've seen it specified very clearly that it's about Kyoshi. Now, if you're connecting the dots, is, Grace Randolph, who said that, one of them's a prequel and I can't really talk about what character it's about, and now she mentions it's Kyoshi, is that directly saying that the prequel movie is Kyoshi? Potentially, it would make sense with potentially what I'm going to get onto next, which is kind of very, very interesting. So this would mean, with all the rumors sort of together, that we have 3 movies, one of which is about Kyoshi, one of which is a Zuko, so ATLA movie, and the third is either unknown or is the prequel movie with Kyoshi just being the third. So that's what we know up to now. Then, right before I went to record this video, this popped up on my timeline. So one of the writers for, as you can see here, Slash Film, who was at the event, you see at Annecy, where they made this announcement, we got the first piece of concept art for the new Avatar movie from Lara Montgomery at Annecy Festival. Didn't show much, but it was a shot of what looked like a walled city with a giant tower in the middle, with the caption, "The Avatar returns," and the symbol for Earth. My immediate response to this is, why did you only show this to the people there and not have this part of your official announcement? Because to me, hearing about this piece of concept art that was shown to writers and stuff like that, when you're publicly putting out this rehash of the Avatar Studios logo, the only thing that makes it clear that Avatar Studios actually exists, and then all you have to say is just sort of multiple projects, here's the director for the first one, still untitled. Why don't you make this public? I don't understand. If they are allowed to say what they saw, why can't you just publicly release that image? I do not understand this. And this, to me, is the news cycle. It's the sort of communication between the official kind of sources and fans starting off on a bad foot already. That we've been waiting months and months for information, and we finally get it, and it's sort of exciting. But then to find out that actually the people there at the thing saw something that no one else did, it just feels like, come on. Now, at the very least, what this probably means is that Comic-Con is next month. I'm assuming we'll see this piece of concept art at Comic-Con, and probably an official announcement for the movie. I think this is what pretty much puts it into like real clarity that, yeah, this is them building up towards the announcement. Now, if it's not SDCC, they'll do it at NYCC. It's one of those things where, like, these days, I just don't think you can kind of really get away with doing things like this. And you need to actually build some hype for whatever you're doing. Now, let's get into some speculation here. Finally, we can actually speculate about an Avatar Studios thing. It's actually pretty crazy that we can actually do this. So, what looked like a walled city. So immediately you're thinking Ba Sing Se. But a walled city with a giant tower in the middle. Now, it doesn't have to be Ba Sing Se, but immediately you think Avatar and walled. That said, I'm guessing the person knew Avatar enough to know if it was Ba Sing Se or not. So, potentially another different city, but a walled one with a giant tower in the middle. The Avatar returns. So they're making the point here, okay. It is going to be like the first Avatar content animated since Korra. Symbol for Earth. So if they're talking about, this is, okay, Avatar focused, Earth, this feels like it probably is Avatar after Korra, or this is the way they're teasing a Kyoshi movie. I feel if it was Kyoshi, you probably would have just come out and said it, rather than potentially like teasing with maybe like a new city and like Earth. So I lean towards potentially that this might be Avatar after Korra. And that would make for, I think, a very interesting lineup of 3 movies. That would mean you have the movie everyone wants and in a way we need. And that is the ATLA movie to fill in the gap between the shows. To show the characters as older, Zuko-focused story, but the other characters are involved. Great. There's your sort of fan servicey movie that you kind of have to do. You need to do now. It's been so long. Great. That's one of them sorted. No problem. Then you have the character who's sort of in a way become the most popular in the gap since Korra ended, and that is Kyoshi. Kyoshi is your way to cover a known Avatar from the past, flesh out the story, and she's popular because those novels sold very well, and she's popular anywhere she appears. So a Kyoshi movie seems like a great idea, fantastic idea. And then what's interesting in that, according to this, the connection is what they showed was concept art from the first movie, the one Lauren Montgomery is directing. That's the one that is potentially this post-Korra Earth Avatar movie. That's very interesting. I didn't think they'd go in this direction, but again, it's very difficult to speculate on if that is the case or not. Again, without being able to see it ourselves or have any other description of it, it's hard to fully make out or anything like that. But that seems like an interesting way to do it, especially if that's going to be the first one. If your order is going to be like new Avatar, like ATLA movie, then Kyoshi, or are you doing new Avatar, Kyoshi, ATLA movie? We don't actually know. But we'll see what happens. The other thing is that like the framing of this could also be that this is the ATLA movie, but it's focusing on this like new city that's popped up or something like that, and the Avatar Returns is referring to, say, Aang or Korra as in they're back, rather than the franchise is back with a new Avatar. But again, without seeing it, it's so difficult to speculate on what actually is happening here. But I like that we can at least sort of, in a way, kind of start a bit of a discussion, even if it's still a little vague. But imagine how exciting, imagine how much more exciting things would be if we saw that image that they got to see. the news yesterday, but instead of the same logo we've had since February 2021, we have a first piece of concept art and a teaser about what exactly is happening. I just don't really get what they're doing. If you can show that to media, you can show it to fans. That's my thoughts on it. And I don't know. Again, like I think because they're probably aware that this would frustrate fans, I assume this probably means they will publicly share this eventually. And with Comic-Con only a few weeks away, we'll get there. We'll get there, hopefully. So there is that. So there's obviously we're going to be speculating about this for a while unless something else comes out soon. Other pieces of news real quick. Amber Midthunder has been cast as Princess Yue in the Netflix live action show. And also filming for this show apparently wraps up either today or tomorrow. I forget the exact details, but either way, very, very soon the filming on this series has ended. And hopefully it means we're not too far away from getting a proper news update that maybe features the main cast in their outfits, a first trailer, some first screenshots. Because that's really what we're waiting for. We're waiting for sort of like a full cast list to see what characters are there, are not there, to see that sort of stuff, and then just a look at what way they're doing things and what they are and are not doing in terms of an adaptation. Next one real quick, Nendoroid Korra is getting reissued. So there is going to be a re-release of the Korra Nendoroid for retail price, so you won't have to pay over the odds for this. Release date December 2022, but it's going to be more like early 2023, unless you're ordering it from Japan and can get really, really fast shipping. That's typically the way these goes. Most places I've seen the figure listed has listed somewhat like March 2023, but it changes a bit, you know. So this is good, especially with the Aang Nendoroid announced. Made complete sense that they'd reissue the Korra one, so that is good. Last thing, which I thought was potentially going to be like the biggest part of the video until those few little extra information on the Avatar Studio stuff hit, is this. Screenshots from Avatar Generations from Square Enix has leaked. Now, straight away, what is Avatar Generations? What Square Enix video games? Let's calm it down a bit here. Avatar Generations is revealed to now be the name of the Avatar mobile game. So straight away, Square Enix London, not actual Square Enix. So calm down about this. It is an Avatar video game, but it's not the one we're waiting for. Information on that will come later because we basically know there's other Avatar games in development. So it says screenshots. I have the screenshots, but they're not listed on this post because the original Reddit post has been taken down. And because stuff is getting taken down and it was kind of hard to find, I'll avoid mentioning them here in this video and showing them off. I'll go over the text information and just explain to you how you can easily find the screenshots yourself. So you can see here, it's describing what you expect a franchise mobile game to be. And that is gotcha rolls to get characters, 4-star, 5-star. You can upgrade them to get the stats better, to get the characters looking different. You know, you've obviously got a basic sort of world map thing, items and stuff like this. Anything to add the monetization into it, of course. It's going to be chibi models on the map, moving from node to node, I guess battle to battle. The combat itself will have 3D models. There's some sort of a turn order here, but for the most part, it does look like it's going to be just sort of the characters stand on sides of the screen and you just kind of mash the buttons, which are on cooldowns over and over again, like typical ways that these games tend to work. They can be fun, but it doesn't really feel like it's like a full video game type situation here. Again, my impression on these games is often that it does feel like it's sort of it's a basic game attached to a rather complicated monetization system to actually play the game like properly and effectively. From what I could see from the screenshots, it doesn't look like amazing, but it looks okay. Like, I'll put a few hours into it, I'll play it because it's Avatar, and it will be the only Avatar video game out when it comes out, because obviously this is going to hit before anything else does. but these mobile games aren't really my sort of game, so I will be playing it without putting any money in. That's just the way it's going to be. And we'll see if the quality improves. Of course, it's just early stuff, so the screenshots are very much representative of like an early build of the game, in that like I don't think there's animations for a lot of stuff in here yet. But they're also saying that there will be chorus stuff. It looks like it will cover it'll be a basic telling of the story of the series. So I'm assuming there's only ATLA stuff in there at the moment, but there will be Korra later. So obviously this is gonna like expand, and they'll have like events when they bring like other characters in, and you know, some people are going to be quite excited about that, but you know, most of us I suppose know what to expect with these type of games. So that's why I'm not making too big of a deal about it, especially when this came out, this news, which has got me excited, but also very, very annoyed about the way they are doing communication on this. I'm still just baffled that this went public at every outlet imaginable, and none of them like really mentioned that there was an image posted. It's just like wild that they didn't put this out. I don't know. Maybe this is only relatively recent information that like just came out from some sort of secondary thing, and we will start to see it as the days go on. But I'm left a little bit confused by this, because I don't think anyone expected that news would come out of this Annecy event or anything like that. So we'll see what happens in the coming days. But at the very least, like I said, I think it probably means we'll get an announcement at least by Comic-Con. If they're saying something here, I can see them keeping like a concept art that they clearly showed to people public for that long, hidden for that long. So in the comments, let me know what your thoughts were on all the news that I mentioned here. The communication here with Avatar Studios, they can't just be simple with it and just release everything they have. It's just really awkward. But that and everything else. But that has been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.